Yeah, just one Mick here. Just about to put this little chainsaw back together. Now, what you got to do when you're cleaning these, right? I showed you before. This is a little Stihl raker depth gauge, and I use it here for cleaning out that little peg there. Use that for cleaning out in the bar. I think that's what it's designed for. Well, that's what I use it for, and that's what I've always used them for. Now, I've just scraped this out, and there's an amazing amount of crap had come out. And that's an oiling hole there for the bar. That little hole there, and there's also one on the other side if you turn the bar up the other way. So you can see that little oiling hole there, and on there too. So you've got to have that clean. Compressor would be the go, but what you haven't got, you haven't got. So that's going there. Now, I'm just going to fire this up and just show you. Now, hopefully I've got oil in the oiler. I think I have. Yeah. Can you see the oil coming out of that port? So that's why you've got to have that oil hole clean. I don't know if you can see that. There's all oil running there. So I got to have that oil port clean on the bar and have it cleaned out down in there. So what I'll do is this bar's not warmed on now. This is a lot higher quality roller tip than the other one, and as you'd expect, it's both in Oregon. So I'm just going to put it. Well, I think that's the right way. I think that's with the lettering up. It doesn't matter. See, and then there's the chain. Now I had one of those tungsten, or I don't know what they are. They're a bloody hard chain. You can't sharpen them with a normal file. I don't know what you do. I've never used them before, so I've just got a normal, what I call a normal chain. So I'm just going to put that on. So that goes there, sits in there, and this one's different because the dog which adjusts the chain is there and there. Now that's a bit black and crappy looking in there, so if you can see it, there it is there. That's the dog that adjusts that little black thing. So whack that on. Now it's going there, and there she is, right sitting in. And I'll just get a couple of bones. They're both 13 millimetre too. I'm a metric man. I come up through both. Growing up in the 70s, we went over to from Imperial, I think they called it. I only used to know it as pounds and miles, pounds with a weight. We went over to metric in 1972, Bathurst 572, 72 to 73, we went to the metric system. So I done both systems. I don't like, well, it took me a long time to get used to, well, it didn't take long to get used to metric because everything heads in zeros, but I used to always work in miles an hour. But when you start dealing with your the two systems, the metric system, in my opinion, is way better because everything heads in zeros. So 10, 100, 1,000. So, you know, one kilogram's 1,000 grams. 1,000 kilograms is a tonne, which is 1,000 kilograms. You know, to me that's a lot better system than 1 tonne's whatever it is, 2,000 whatever amount of pounds. But it's what you get used to. Both systems work. So I'm going to do a little bit more cleaning down on this. So just show you this air filter. This is probably maybe a bit higher quality system than what's on the old glasses on. Professor Swenson will call myself with this. Professor Sveno, Mick. Now, there you go, with that goes up there. And that's actually quite easy because that just fits straight in there. And that just comes through there like that. And that's all nice and pretty clean in here anyhow. Obviously cutting palms obviously, and there's a gasket all the way around here on this one. Nice gasket. Didn't even look on the other one. I suppose it would have, but yeah. But everything with these saws, both these saws, is into plastic. I can't see a big problem with them. I'm not saying if you were a professional firewood cutter or something like that these are going to be up to that sort of thing, either of them. My youngest brother, Russie, his mate cuts firewood professionally. And they cut that much firewood. Like they cut B doubles and B double fulls of it. Just nip that one up. Same deal. I'll actually tighten it up now. Just do that when I sharpen it. So yeah, they cut B doubles and B double fulls of it. And it goes off down south. But they use Stihls. I think they do that much chainsaw work. I think Stihl actually supplies them every so often prototypes just to see how they go. But I'll just show you this here now. So the starter on this is better than the other one. So yeah, just fire it up. So foot in there. I'll put it on choke. Got the brake on. Kick that off. Apart from a bit of WD-40 and down, that's the cleaning regime done. And I mean, if you're using these saws for hours a day, sit back down, if you're using these saws for hours a day, probably, oh God, look at this head. You probably would, you clean them every day. Now, I haven't sharpened these. I done all that cut now today. The fellow that was working with me, it was his property. I let him do a bit of cutting because he's just bought himself a saw. Let him use my saws. I'm just going to adjust this. This is way out. Let him use mine, and wasn't a problem. He just poked away at it steady. And hang on a sec, see if there's a screwdriver here. No. He was no worries, that doesn't even fit. So I'll adjust it up once I finish doing my video. Now, I don't think he run into any dirt, either of them. They don't look like they have. You see that's how loose that, oh, you can't see it. That's as loose as a goose. So I've got to just adjust that up. So I've backed that off. But anyhow, these things, palms are soft as, just full of acid. So yeah, but this is the beauty of working for yourself. You know, when you're working for other people, things like sharpening chainsaws and that. Who wants to do that for nothing? You know, you don't. It's just not what I want to do. Like, I've done a lot of jobs where I've worked for nothing, and as I got older, it's no bugger it. My old saying was at the end there: if they can't afford, if my employer can't afford to pay me, can't afford to have me. And now that might, people might say, well, that's a bit of a negative attitude, but I remember working for, he's a great bloke, private enterprise, in the small meat works, 1979, October 1979 to February, March of 1986. Now, great bloke, small meat works, and we worked a bit of a tally system, but that when he was doing it harder, we weren't on the tally system. Now, to give you an idea, we used to do kick-off work. We'd have the first beast hanging by 5 in the morning, and I do recall doing days up till 8:30 at night, because we just had to kill whatever the orders were on the Sunshine Coast for this little meat works. Great, like I say, one of the best private enterprise bosses I've ever had. And if I was ever going to do work for people for nothing, so we done that. So that was a longer day, but generally we'd do a 40-hour week, so it's 5 days a week, and we'd do 8 hours a day is what we'd get paid for. And I can still recall many a days you kick off at 5, so you'd be there at 4:30, have all your knives sharpened, first beast or first lamb, but mainly we used to do beef of the morning, and then we'd do lamb, and then pigs and calves, lambs and then calves, then pigs. And we would be regularly 4, 5 o'clock, so that's a 12-hour day. And I still remember one of my old workmates, George, went to school with George, he's still around here, and we done an 8:30 at night. Now, our boss, great bloke, he got us hamburgers, and that was for 8 hours pay. Now, we done a few of them, but a lot of them were from 5 in the morning, we'll say. We were always there earlier than that, but 5 in the morning, 3, 4, 5, and we'll just say regularly a 4 o'clock finish. And that was like, this went on for a long time. This is years. And we didn't mind doing it, don't get me wrong. And he always used to say, fellas, when we end up doing really well, we're going to look after you blokes. And back then, there was a big downturn in the meat industry, and our boss, he had went bust, and then he had a stroke. He's still alive to this day. He's a bloke in his late 80s now. And but like I said, if I was going to work for someone for nothing, it would have been him. Laurie was his name. Well, there's Laurie and John. I think they're both still alive. Laurie's definitely still alive, and Margaret, his wife. But what I'm saying is, you know, the reality is you can do all this work for people for nothing. And like I said, I didn't begrudge working for him for a really good rate. It wasn't for nothing. Like, he'd pay us, but not what the amount of hours we actually used to put in. And he couldn't afford to pay us. And after that, I done a few things for people for nothing. Like, even the last job I had, the early years, used to turn up and get all the mower and everything serviced up. But apart from individual, just self-satisfaction that you're trying hard, how much work do you want to do for nothing? Now, like I say, the last place I just done that off my own back, and so did my workmate, he was the same. He was a good old Pete. And but yeah, I'm a firm believer. I don't expect people to work for me for nothing. I actually prefer to pay people the full amount of money, because I'd rather not owe people anything. That's just the way I am. I think that's been instilled with us in our bringing up. Mum was an extremely fair person. Dad was probably over generous. And yeah, that's just the way it is. But what's that old? There's another old saying, and all these old sayings actually ring true pretty well. Charity begins at home. I'll just drop that down, and now I'll put my cover on. I'm going to start sharpen that up, but I'll do that another day when I'm getting there to sharpen them up. And yeah, charity begins at home. But that's 15 minutes. So I'm going to switch her off at that. And there's my little chainsaw maintenance regime, which that's what I've done all my life, chainsaw maintenance like that. And they've never let me down. And I've done a fair bit of chainsaw work. I haven't done any amount like Buck and Billy Ray Smith or my brother PR 308, Mad Keen Hunter, my oldest brother, but he does a lot of big tree falling, a lot of big hardwoods. He's got his own sawmill. He's got his own portable sawmill, a Maleny. They're a New Zealand brand portable mill. He's got one of them, but I don't do the amount of chainsaw work that those fellas do, but especially in the previous job we done a lot of chainsaw work. Look at this here, would you? What a top little setup. You see that? Hangs on your belt. So here you are. Here you are walking in the bush. Got that hanging on your belt, I think. I'd say, or maybe I'm wrong. I just have that in my four-wheel drive. And that's got me file. Well, you see what it's got in, I'll just show you. You need to get these down to our local Stihl shop, dealer. Now, I think that obviously a guide. But there's a file and a guide for my blade, my chain. There's my raker depth gauge and also pick. And there's a flat file to file the rakers down. And that comes in a little kit. And that's a bloody handy little kit. I've got a Husqvarna chain file too, and it's probably got a better hand, or not probably, it's a better handle that goes into the files. But anyhow, there's my chainsaw maintenance on that. I'll just get you so you can see me head. So that's Sveno Mick out with his chainsaw maintenance. Like I said, I've been doing that for years, and I've never had any problem. And that's not just with this chainsaw. Obviously, they still look like brand new because they haven't done a lot of work. But they got a good old working out the other day. But look, I'm going to leave it at that, and we're starting to clear it over here. I'll just show you. And I said we're coming into rain. Yeah, I'll kookaburra up there on the wires. See that? Just put him from a distance, but he's actually not that far. Love them birds. But you can see all the starting to cloud up here. And yeah, and I love making little videos, and we've got real light just drizzle here now. Anyhow, I'm going to leave it at that. Sveno Mick out.